did you know Lee Parsons from North London, also known as Debbie? Why should somebody want to kill her in what police say has the hallmark of a planned assassination?
And that's where we start, a case that seems not so much a crime of passion, but a calculated killing. The events took place in North London and in Essex, and you'll see there are several people who have to be eliminated from the inquiry. The victim was Lee Parsons. Lee Parsons was 43 and lived in Friern Barnet. Her pride and joy was her white Golf GTi convertible. Lee worked 3 shifts a week as a masseuse at the New Experience sauna in Eversholt Street in Camden Town. She'd worked here for 12 years, though all her colleagues knew her as Debbie. It's Saturday the 23rd of June. Around lunchtime, Lee went out with her boyfriend, Ozzy, whom she'd been seeing for 2 years.
There you go, horoscopes. Here. The new moon is influencing all forms of communication and travel plans.
Lee had lent Ozzy some money to start Leo's restaurant in Harlow, Essex, about half an hour's drive from Friern Barnet. Tonight, Ozzy was expecting a big party, and Lee had promised to help out.
Whoa, what a pong in here. It's so dark. I'm going to put a bit of light in it. I can never get this thing working.
Here are the tablecloths, Lee.
Oh, thanks, babe.
About 10 miles away towards London, near Epping Forest, a woman was driving to the shops.
I slowly went down my lane, and I noticed 2 cars with 2 fellows. And it's usually an area where people might stop to walk dogs or have something to, have their lunch. But I noticed there was nothing of that going on.
Oh, doesn't that look lovely? Right, must get going, darling.
Can't you wait? My brother's coming in half an hour.
No, darling, I've got to get to the garden centre on the way home. Ooh, it's still beautiful out here, huh?
OK, well, we get back as soon as you can. You've got to do the bath now, all right?
I do. Bye, darling.
About an hour and a half later, back at Friern Barnet, a neighbour thought Lee had a visitor.
I saw this black car drive in with a black man driving it. It struck me as being a bit odd because it didn't look like a minicab to me because it was too lovely a car. I saw her car was there, so I thought, well, it's not for Lee. But he stopped in front of her window and gave a nod and then quickly drove out.
Police need to eliminate this driver. The car had a distinctive V-shaped aerial.
Hello.
Lee, it's me. How's things?
Oh, great. I got some gorgeous flowers from the garden centre. Listen, babes, I'm just getting ready to go out. So what time does this do start?
Around 7:30.
Don't you mean 8 to 8:30?
Just get here as soon as you can.
About the same time, the witness in Epping Forest returned home from her shopping.
When I came back and I turned into my road, I saw the 2 men still there, and that made me a little suspicious. And when I went home, I mentioned to my husband that it was odd to see 2 people standing there for 5 hours.
About an hour later, a neighbour saw Lee drive out. She was away for half an hour, but police don't know where she went.
How's it going, Kerry?
Busy.
God, I knew she'd be late. Where the hell is she? Lee, what are you doing? The party's started. When are you going to leave? People have already arrived. Are you all right? You sound like you've been sleeping.
I'm all right. I've got something to tell you, baby. I can't tell you now. I'll tell you when I get there.
All right, baby. What is it? Good or bad? At least tell me that.
It's good.
Well, hurry up and come.
This is Bielek making one for the Czechs, fouled by Marchena.
I was watching the World Cup on the television when I hear a yell. I turn the volume down and I hear a loud argument going on next door, and a man is shouting at Lee. I became concerned, so I went outside to where my car was, and I looked into Lee's kitchen window. I could see the light on, but I couldn't see or hear anything. I came back in, and the next thing I heard was the door bang. I went to my kitchen window, and I saw Lee getting into her car unaided on the passenger side, while at the same time a man got into the driving position. I caught a glimpse of him, and I think he had fairish hair.
Hello, this is Lee here. Please leave your message. I will be in touch. Bye for now.
Next morning, Lee's convertible was seen in Epping Forest, near where the two suspicious cars had been noticed the previous afternoon. Then, at lunchtime, a rambler peered inside the GTI and saw a body. Lee had 3 wounds in her head, perhaps made by bolts fired from a crossbow. Doug Harvey, why are you convinced this was a calculated, a planned killing?
Apart from a general feeling of the whole job, the fact she was lured from her house to a very isolated spot in the forest, and probably more important, the weapon. A powerful crossbow is hardly the sort of weapon you might just happen to have with you.
So you'd really like to hear from anybody who knows any East London or Essex villain who's been toying around with a crossbow, apart from anything else.
It's such an unusual weapon that that sort of information might be vital, yes.
Now, also, you need to know anybody who knew Lee, or knew her as Debbie, perhaps. Anyone at all.
Yeah, this is an execution by any other name, and I'm not happy yet that I've found a motive that would fit such a grave crime, so I would urge anyone who hasn't yet contacted us to come forward, please.
Yeah, we've got some home video which shows Lee at a party, dressed as a... There she is there. You'll see that she's dressed as a belly dancer here as well. There she is. If you knew her, please give us a call. Now, the next thing we need to know are those, perhaps to eliminate, those 2 guys seen in the 2 cars by the witness in Epping Forest. There might have been nothing to do with this killing, of course.
No, quite right, but I do need to see them or find someone else who saw them. The white man with the red car, all I can tell you about him, unfortunately, is that he was wearing black tracksuit trousers with a red stripe down the seam. The driver of the green car, the black man, he's about mid-30s, 6 foot, slim build. He's got a moustache, neatly cut hair, probably gelled back, light brown skin, and he was wearing a long-sleeved yellow sweatshirt. OK,
this is Saturday the 23rd of June, and they were there, we think, from about 1:30 until about 6:30, maybe even later.
At least 6 o'clock, maybe even later.
OK, fine. Well, if that was you, please give us a call if you know who it was or know anything about them.